Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lena and I'm a soon-to-be third grade teacher in Arizona. So today I thought I would do a video all about my student teaching experience, how I went from inside the classroom to being online, my virtual graduation, kind of what I learned inside the classroom that I want to take into my own classroom, just the whole gist of it. So if you guys want to know more about my student teaching experience, just keep on watching. Okay, so to start off with my student teaching experience, I'm going to backtrack it all the way to my practicum experience. So if you're unfamiliar with practicum, it's basically the semesters before student teaching where you get experience inside the classroom. You have 3 semesters of it, or at least at my school I had 3 semesters of it. I was in a 4th grade, a 3rd grade, and kindergarten class. So our first semester of practicum, we kind of had to piggyback off of one another. So I was only at the school in the classroom 1 day a week for a couple hours, and so I wasn't able to build a relationship with the students. And my first semester of practicum, I was placed in a class with a student teacher. So that's not a horrible thing, but I was the only one in my entire cohort who was placed in a class with a student teacher. I felt as though maybe I wasn't getting the full experience as my other colleagues were, just because some of them were already teaching, some of them were just jumping right into it, and I wasn't, because there was a student teacher in my classroom, and a majority of the time a lot of the tasks and the teaching, the lessons, they all go to the student teacher. So I was able to just kind of sit back, watch, and really soak in the information and learn. So I was hoping the next semester would be different and I'd get a class that didn't have a student teacher. And because I talked to my professors and I talked to the person who coordinated, you know, what teachers we went to, and I just said it would be awesome if maybe this time I didn't get a student teacher, just because I want to, you know, have the best experience with the most information. Not really realizing that having a student teacher in the classroom really benefited me, but I wasn't thinking like that. And so second semester I had a student teacher yet again, but I really connected with the student teacher. I was able to, you know, teach some lessons, and we were able to talk about, you know, me still having the opportunity to learn. And so I think that's why I just loved my second semester of practicum, which was in a 3rd grade class, the most, just because I connected with the teacher, the students, I taught. And ever since I was little, I've always liked 3rd grade. I've always said I wanted to teach 3rd grade. I don't know why. And so having a practicum experience where I enjoyed 3rd grade so much, I just was so happy. And then I went to a kindergarten class that was very interesting. I'm very happy that I did have that opportunity. If you're a kindergarten teacher, you are freaking amazing. That is just a whole nother like situation, is being a kindergarten teacher. You have to teach them everything. You have to teach them like just everything. It was an awesome experience. They're the cutest kids ever. But then after my kindergarten experience, I went on to student teaching. So I was really happy that I received 3rd grade as my student teaching placement. I just was over the moon. I was placed with a male teacher, and at the beginning I just didn't really know. I've never really had a male elementary school teacher. So I didn't really know what to expect. Well, walking into that class, I felt like I was living under a rock. This class, I learned so much from this class, more than any of the semesters of practicum combined, like more than any of my professors combined. I learned so much information, and something that I will forever carry on with me are the things that I learned in his classroom. Okay, so my cooperating teacher, who, if you are unfamiliar with that term, my cooperating teacher is the teacher that I am student teaching in their classroom. So in practicum, they were called our mentor teacher, and then when you switch to student teaching, they're called your cooperating teacher. Okay, so he is a certified Fred Jones teacher, which means that he has been trained under him or his colleagues, and he just really is a believer in who he is. So if you don't know who Fred Jones is, you can look him up. He has books out. Right now I'm reading Positive Classroom Discipline, and then I'm going to read Positive Classroom Instruction, and then read Tools for Teaching. So I will link those books down below, but he is amazing. He just gives you such a amazing look on education and how easy it is to manage a class, and how some teachers don't know this technique. And that's why I kind of want to talk about it, just because this technique is just amazing. It involves limit setting, it involves, you know, incentive rewards. It's amazing. I will link the books down below if you guys want to check them out. So my cooperating teacher is helping create a reading strategy that when I look at, I think, as common sense. And so that's why I like Fred Jones so much, because my teacher is using Fred Jones techniques in this reading strategy that just are common sense. So a little bit about it is that every class you have students who are below grade level, above grade level, and just right at grade level. So the kids below grade level, there's a lot of teachers who have a hard time getting those students up to grade level. So what my cooperating teacher does is he doesn't have a problem with that. So he starts the year with maybe 5 or 6 kids in his below average group. By December, he's able to get half those kids out of that group reading on their own independently at grade level. And it all stems from phonics and phonemic awareness. In these small groups, he's really focusing on these words that students don't know and going back to the skills that they learned in kindergarten, first, second grade. Some of these students are lacking those skills, and not to touch on them again is kind of funny to me, but yeah, so what he does is he'll sit them down, he'll have them walk through the book, he'll have them pick out unfamiliar words, they'll sound out the unfamiliar words, and then what my teacher does is, what's it called? He does multisyllabic like mix-up, and so what that basically means is that each word has different syllables, and so what he'll do is he'll move the first syllable to the end of the word and then have those kids say the word with the first syllable at the end. And so it can be really tricky, but these kids are able to do it, and it improves their reading skill so much, and they're able to then read on their own, which I think is a goal for all teachers, is to have students be able to read on their own. And so yeah, I'm super excited to read these books, to finish them, to implement his reading strategy into my classroom, and just to see the wonders of it and to see how amazing it is. So I'm really excited. I will let you guys know all about it and how I'm able to incorporate that into my classroom. But that is one thing that I am taking from his class and running with it into my own classroom. So yeah. Okay, you guys, so another thing that I learned in my cooperating teacher's classroom is the world of coding. So I have brothers who video game, who are on their computers, but before this classroom, I felt like I was living under a rock. I didn't really understand the concept of what coding is, and you know, the impacts of it, the effects of it, the benefits of it. And so when I walked into his classroom and I saw these robots and these kids coding these robots and building them, I just thought it was the coolest thing I have ever seen in my entire life. These students who are being engineers in a third grade classroom, who are using screwdrivers to build these robots. You don't see that in a third grade classroom. You don't see that in an elementary classroom. And it's something that means so much to the kids, that impacts them, it motivates them, it just does so many great wonders to them that I just think is amazing. So to start off, my teacher, he has accounts for all of his students under code.org, and so this is a free website. You can sign up your kids for free, and they just get to learn about coding. And so what code.org is a website all about coding. There are games that you play and you code. And so a great example is like a Minecraft coding game. So code.org has lessons and units. So like, you're not just jumping into something that's so complicated. It walks you through everything. Once you pass a certain level, you get onto another level, which is a little bit more difficult. And the students love it. They do it all the time. And it's free. It's a free website that I'm definitely going to incorporate into my classroom. My school is an advocate for STEM, and so this fits right under engineering, and it's just amazing. And so if you guys are interested in coding or anything, you guys should check out code.org, free website for your students to learn the world of coding. So definitely something I'm going to bring with me to my own classroom. So along with coding, my teacher has robots, and so these robots, they are called Sparks and Bolts. He gets them on Amazon, and basically you need a tablet or an iPad to connect these devices. So you need the app sphero.edu. You connect these robots and you build your program. You build it from scratch, and then you tell the robot what to do, and if it doesn't do it correctly, you made a mistake and you have to go back and fix it. So these students just know how to do it. I was expecting like them to be very lost. This is really complicated, but they were born into a society where this technology is just everywhere, and like my age I was too, but not this intense. But they're able to code these robots, and it's just amazing. So robots and coding and technology like this really speaks to a lot of students, and it's a great motivation, it's a great engagement tool. It's just something that I think really benefits the entire environment of a classroom, and that includes management, behavior, everything like that. And so if you're interested in coding, I would check out code.org just because it's free. But yeah, that's something I'm definitely going to be doing, is the code.org and then the robots. Okay, so going on to this entire thing where we had to go into quarantine and the whole thing with schools kind of shutting down. So how it went for me was I had planned to leave school, I think 3 days before, like the Wednesday before spring break, because my sister was getting married on that Saturday. And so I had left school with like all my things there. I didn't really have a good goodbye with the kids. And so I went home, and then that's when everything happened. That's when like the school shut down. Thankfully, she still had her wedding. It was like right before everything crazy. But yeah, schools had shut down. And so after the wedding, I went back up to my college town, and I just like didn't really want to be there. I kind of wanted to be with my family during this crazy time. And so I basically moved my entire life back from my college town to my parents' house, all within a matter of a couple weeks. And it just was so crazy because yeah, I was preparing in my mind to graduate and to move back, but not so soon. And it just was so weird. It took me so long to adjust. I'm a person who needs a routine and who needs something like that I know what to do every day, and student teaching was just that. I had my routine, like I loved it, and then this happened. And so yeah, this has just been really crazy. I moved back home. I got a job a month before graduation, and then I completely missed my virtual graduation. I saw an email about it, but I think it kind of just went pew because I was inside looking at my first ever classroom, and that's when my virtual ceremony was happening. So I completely missed it, and I never got to the point where I ordered my cap and gown. Like I was getting to that point where I was going to order it, and I never did. And so I had to borrow my friend's cap and gown just to get pictures, but I couldn't even have like, I couldn't even fake it because I didn't even have my own cap and gown. So I really like don't care. But I'm really proud of what I've done and what I've accomplished, and I think me landing a job during this crazy time, you know, proves that to myself, and you know, being able to graduate college in 3 years and just doing a whole bunch of things really, you know, I'm okay with. And I'm okay with, you know, graduating like this and living at home, and I think everything's gonna be okay. I, you know, have a lot of things to do to prepare for my own classroom. I just have so many things to do that I know I'm gonna be super busy this summer. But yeah. Alright you guys, that is the end of my video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope it wasn't too long. I hope I didn't ramble. But if you guys enjoyed it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and comment down below for more video suggestions. I know I'm going to be filming a lot just because I have a lot to do and I want you guys to see it. But yeah, so thank you guys for joining in, and I'll see you next time. Bye!